NZ5 here. I wanted to make a quick kind of guide about just flipping in general. I think a lot of people hear flipping and they think of the old style flipping before we had Faustus, where you'd have to like crawl the trade site, find some item that's underpriced, buy it, relist it at a higher price, kind of a thing. And it's really a lot simpler than that, and it's really quite easy. All you need to do is anytime you're going through and buying things with Faustus, anytime you find an item where the buy and sell price have a decent margin between them, all you're doing is setting up a buy and a sell order at the same time for the most part, right? So reflecting this, for example, this might be a little expensive for some people to get into, but I'm just going to use this as an example. There's an item I've been flipping all league that has pretty good margins on it, but this one's got a good one where it's 40C every time, basically, right now. So like, say I wanted to set one up, and I'm going to set up a buy order for 641, right? Because now I'm the best price. If somebody wants to sell one, 641 is the highest, right? So as soon as somebody sells one, if they want to sell it immediately, they're going to sell it to me for that price. And then if I had one for sale, well, now somebody just undercut at 670 there, you see. Um, but before that, it was okay. That one's sold now, right? So let's say somebody finally sells me one, or if I already had one to sell, I'd list it right now at 679. So I'd be selling one at 679 and I'd be buying them at 641. So I'm making, 38, 39C every time that happens. That's all flipping is, right? It's really that simple. And sometimes, it depends on just looking through if I can find anything else that might have a decent margin right now. Things like, divine orbs and whatever that has really, really high volume, those never really have a good margin, right? Because there's a lot of people flipping them. See, divines are 0.5 difference on both sides. But things that might have, medium volume, tempering orb. Here you go. There's a good one. 11-ish C right now. You can also pay attention to the stock there. I can't mouse over it, but if you look at the top there, ratios 75, but there's 7 of them for sale. Now somebody just undercut at 74. They got 4 for sale. So if you pay attention to the stock, though, sometimes there's only one listed at that price. And then the next price down, there's also only one listed at that price, right? And you can kind of get an idea of how much stock is available. And if there isn't very much, if somebody needs to come through and buy a few, it's going to push the price really quick. So here's a decent one. This would be a decent one somebody could flip right now. You could set up buy orders for at 65 at the moment because the cheapest one on the bottom is 64, right? So I could set up a buy order for 65, and if I had one for sale, I'd be listing at 73. If that 74 guy only had one for sale, I might list at 74 and just match it, right? It all kind of depends. Everything's a little bit circumstantial. But this is a real easy way. It takes you 5 seconds to set it up once you know the item, and then you just go run your maps, right? And you come back and they're done, and you collect your money and you set the buy orders up again. Look, all right, there we go. We bought a tempering orb. Now we're going to list it at 74 because the cheapest one's 75. If you're not doing, and the only downside of this is the gold cost, right? But if you're doing maps and stuff, you should have plenty of gold. If you're not doing King's March, right? If you're not turning your gold into money through King's March, look, it's sold. There we go. Just made 10C while we are doing this, basically. And then you can just rinse and repeat. Like, and I could even do this. I could do it for a lot if you're doing it for one or two and they're selling pretty quickly every time. You might want to stock up and do like 5 or 10 or whatever. So let's do like 5 of them actually at 63. Oh, one guy's trying to buy one at 74 now, but that's fine. He just wants a single one, so I'll just set mine up at. Actually, I'm gonna go to 64. So I'm the next after that. I'll just wait for that one at 74 to get sold, whatever, and I'll wait a few minutes. I'm gonna go run a map, right? And that's fine. But this is just something if you're struggling with money and you need a little bit of startup capital depending on what item you're targeting. There can be some items that are only like 10C to buy and they're like 14, 15C to sell and they move somewhat quickly. You could buy like 10, 15, 20 of those, right? Just keep an eye out basically. Whenever you're buying and selling things on Faustus, go to the market ratio and hit Alt, by the way. Hold Alt if you want to see both sides. And that's all there is to it. So hopefully this video helps some people out there make a little extra money this league, and I hope everybody's enjoying Breach 2.0, and I'll catch you later. You can find me on Twitch most days, twitch.tv/NZ5. And I hope you drop a mirror. Goodbye.